session. It is by our next session is on winning customers the Flipkart way, and this is by Kinshu Sinha. So let's invite Kinshu Sinha from Flipkart, who is going to conduct the session on winning customers the Flipkart way. Kinshu is the head of marketing for seller platform in Flipkart Marketplace. He has been with Flipkart for almost 3 years, where he has managed the books and electronics portfolios in different stints. Prior to joining Flipkart, Kinshu had 3 years of experience as a consultant product manager with Cognizant and Infosys Technologies. He has an MBA from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi, and a BE in Computer Sciences from Government Engineering College, Bhopal. We welcome Kinshu Sinha on stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause. I know we all are waiting for lunch, but then again, this is going to be a very exciting session, so please have some patience with Kinshu. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know my session is excruciatingly close to a sumptuous lunch waiting for you guys, but I'll try to keep it short and simple and try to wrap it up as quickly as possible. So before I start this workshop, I'd like to ask, by a show of hands, I'm sure that a lot of you travel a lot. If I were to ask you which is your favorite airline, what would your answers be? If I could just hear from you. Indigo? Okay. So interesting observation there. So I'm sure that you guys know that the manufacturers, airline manufacturers industry is dominated by just 2 players. 75% of the market share is owned by Boeing and Airbus, and the rest of them are in the remaining 25%. And so the product is going to be essentially the same, right? How much difference can they bring into the product? The service is also essentially the same. They all take you from point A to point B by air. But why then, when I asked you about your favorite airline, you named just 1 out of the 25 odd airlines that operate out of India? That is the power of customer experience. That is what I'm going to talk about today. Sorry, that's what I'm going to talk about today. And so Flipkart, I think all of you might be well aware that Flipkart is known for its customer focus. Both our founders, Sachin and Binny, have emphasized this time and again that we'd want to be the most customer focused company. So whenever we onboard a new seller onto the Flipkart platform, this is what we take them through. This is philosophy and some broad guidelines on how customer experience should be managed on an online platform like Flipkart. And that's why I thought that when I'm taking a session on customer experience or winning customers, I thought that this could be a good deck to take you through. So like I said, this is a little bit about the philosophy and guidelines for managing customer experience with Flipkart. We at Flipkart believe that for a customer, all that matters is that one transaction that he's taking on the platform. And therefore, the customer experience is independent of whether it was Flipkart, whether it is the seller. For him, it's just a consolidated view. They don't differentiate between, if there is a dissatisfaction or a satisfaction, they don't differentiate between the point whether there is a Am I audible? Yeah. So they don't really care too much about where was the fault or where was the good part. It's always a consolidated experience. And therefore, we have always tried to maintain a consistent value proposition for our customers. Whoever is transacting on Flipkart, we try to make sure that the experience for them is always consistent. And which is why that's what. So in the end, we want e-commerce to succeed for customers. We want them to build trust on e-commerce, and that's why we want that the entire channel experience has to be strong. Which is why when we have a new seller or whenever we have meetings with them, we try to emphasize on this point. So how does the roadmap work, right? So there are products. Of course, there's a school of thought that believes that if you have a product which is good enough, it'll probably take care of itself. That's probably a little old school now. There is a service element to it. you have a product, you have wrapped it around a good service, then customers should be okay with it, even if the product is not good enough. And then finally, there is the experience part of it, which is why I pointed out the question of the airline and what I wanted to talk about when I said that word of mouth and customer loyalty and customer experience is what matters a lot. So this is our approach towards customer experience, and this is the reason why we want to have an integrated approach. But while all of that is good, what are some of the important challenges that, especially from an e-commerce perspective, sellers would face when they come onto the Flipkart platform? And I'm talking about challenges from the supply side as well as from the business side. So we try to look at, and these are generic numbers across sellers of categories. We try to make it as generic as possible so as to we can talk about it. When you look at numbers, right, there are 20 to 30% cases. I'm sorry, I cannot move. I'm in a habit of moving. So there are 20 to 30% of the cases where a dissatisfaction at the customer end is because of some fault of the customer himself. Either he has a wrong expectation of the product. We have seen experiences where a customer would transact for an ebook and would expect a physical book delivering at his home. Or there is some error from their end in understanding a wrong expectations of the product itself. In about 5% of the cases, there is a problem with an internal employee. Either it's the general attitude of dealing with the customer or not following a certain policy that's already there for customer experience. But in about 70 to 80% of the cases, we find that's either a broken process or a product quality issue, and which is where the majority of the problem is. So we focus on the problems that we can really solve, which is 70 to 80% of the problem about process and product quality. So before I go to the next slide, let me go back to the question I asked earlier once again about the airlines. If I were to ask you that one thing that probably differentiate your favorite airline from the other airlines, what would you think? What would you say that is? On time, I heard. Better food quality. The gentleman, I'm your friend. I also believe that better food quality is more important. But so in a room full of people, when I ask about factors that influence customer experience, I can hear about 3 or 4 examples. So the answer to that question is that there is no one factor that you can focus on to solve for customer experience. Customer experience is always and always an interplay of multiple factors playing out at once. What we can do, however, so for instance, if you look at this example, there is on time, there is food quality, some would say there's the blue color, there's so many things that go into that entire experience that you cannot pick up one thing and say that this is why the customer experience is good, and which is why we find that it's very difficult to list down all the factors that are important. So therefore, we looked at things which would probably matter a little more than the others. And this is what we found. So if you look at this, again, generic data across sellers, across categories. If you look at the numbers, right, product quality and packaging together account for 60% of the root causes of customer dissatisfaction. Product quality right from the way the catalog has been described. I think just right before this, there was a panel discussion about the product image, the catalog. Our expectation, and this is what we encourage our sellers also to do, is that you describe the product the way it is. It's always important that we keep completely transparent. Even if there's a lower quality material, let's call it out up front. There might be a few customers who would be buying those products for those things. Product quality and packaging. Packaging is so important that probably I'm going to spend a little more time on packaging. We've seen, and this is from our own experience of dealing with sellers for a while now, a lot of times packaging is seen as a cost center. It's not seen as strategic as it is to customer experience. A lot of times, we have seen smaller sellers or smaller businesses try to cut costs on packaging, where in the end they end up spending all the more because of packaging. So what they do typically is that they would buy a lower quality packaging material. In order to save the product to get damaged in transit, they'll wrap it up with a lot of bubbles and cartons and everything, and it will be delivered to the customer in a shabbily packed box. It hurts customer experience. It hurts their own bottom lines, because where a packaging material could have been less than 1% of their cost, it goes up to 3 to 2.5% in some cases. But it also, over time, builds a very bad experience for customers to buy from that particular transaction. So packaging is really, really important. In fact, and this is a done survey from CRISIL that in India especially, product quality and packaging are almost equally important for customer buying decision. It's not the second. It's probably the second or third metric in the US and the UK, but in India, it's very, very important because probably consumers are not used to a very strong packaging quality. The second biggest lever is auto delivery lead times. We always encourage our sellers to make sure that either their supply chains are completely ready to have the products available to them when they deliver to the customers, or they only list products that are inventoried with them. So auto delivery lead time, especially within 5 days, I mean, that's always our endeavor. We talked about geo, we talked about regional utilization. It's always our endeavor to make sure that customers get their deliveries within the first 5 days of orders. I talked a little bit about packaging. I think pricing, well, there's a lot of belief that pricing is what matters the most in customer experience. Data doesn't suggest that. So probably it brings a lot of people to e-commerce website, but it's not the most important driver for customer experience. It comes at a distant fourth. And there are other factors that are also there, but I'm not talking about those. Cataloging, I think I covered it in product quality itself. Product quality for us is not just the material quality, but also how you're describing it. So if the product is completely or significantly not as described as you put it, it's a very bad dent on customer experience. So while these are all the root causes, I would like to use the much abused iceberg analogy here. If you look at the real danger, right, well, we talked about the reasons for bad customer experience. The real danger lies in here. In 100 of the customers that have a bad experience, about 1 to 5 customers will take the effort to write a proactive feedback to you. They would probably reach out to somebody in the management team, somebody they know, and they'll try to fix the problem. And they'll try to give you a very detailed feedback of what happened, and you'll try to get more details out of it. In about 20 to 25% of the cases, the customers will reach out to the frontline desk, and they'll try to get their resolution over there. But in 75 to 80% or 95% of the cases, customers will not raise a problem. And this is where the biggest problem lies. Because these customers, getting these customers back is the most difficult part, because we don't know what happened there. And that's why what we can do is that look at the data and try to improve our behavior in the first place, or customer experience in the first place. Let me try to quantify this problem a little better. So that's what I'm saying. So the impact of bad customer experience is basically 4 times more for people who do not complain. So let's look at a few numbers and try to arrive at what could be the real impact. I'm taking generic numbers here. So let's consider there are 200,000 customers who have got a dissatisfaction. Of those 200,000 customers, like I said, about 25%, 50,000 would complain. Let's look at these 50,000 a little deeper. Of the 50,000, half of them will be satisfied with our resolution for them. The remaining 15,000, we'll probably try to mollify them through a token of apology. We'll try to give them something free, and they'll be mollified. 10,000, probably for them, the experience would have crossed the limit of doing something for them again. But the remaining so the remaining customers are still, 150,000 customers are still unaddressed. So if we consider that of the customers that were satisfied, about 10% would not repurchase, would basically 90% of them will come back and buy again, then there is a 10% chance that those customers will not come again. That's 2,500. If we look at this at about 50% or less than that, 6,000. If we consider this about 90% of them will never come again, then it's a huge number, 9,000. But here, even if at a very optimistic level, I say that 75% of the customers will come back, and it's optimistic, then the impact is bigger than any of the rest of the impact. So in total, we, as sellers and as Flipkart, this experience has to be managed in such a manner that we don't stand the risk of losing so many customers. So while all of this is describing the impact it can have, it describes very well what we can do. Here are a few things that we believe our SMEs participating in our platform as well as us should focus on to improve customer experience. I think I talked about these 4 things already: the packaging quality, order delivery time, pricing, product quality. All of these are important aspects. Let me try get a little deeper. These roll into a much more detailed guidelines in our regular sessions, but here I'd like to put in a few important aspects that probably make a lot more sense. Product quality is always a perception issue. If there is a product that is of a low quality and we know about it, and if it's priced right, then there's not a problem. So if the customers have to know that the product quality is low or the product quality is high and it should be priced correctly. We always encourage sellers to have the correct images and the correct descriptions of the product and use the product packaging as per the guidelines. So there are a detailed set of guidelines we share with our SMEs who participate with us for using the packaging material. Process, always set the right customer expectations. If you know that it's going to take you 3 days to procure, I'm saying you because this is generally used in SME conferences, but I'm sure that it's relevant for a lot of people here, that if you know that it's going to take us 3 to 4 days to procure the material, let's not set the expectation of delivering it to the customer in less than that time. Use inventory products only, like I earlier said. Pickup promise, we have a dedicated pickup service for sellers. If there is a promise made, if there is a time set for pickup, we always encourage to make sure that it's done in the time. But most importantly, of the data that we have of the 20-25% customers that do reach out to us, we always encourage to spend some time in doing some research and analysis and find out what the root cause was. But likewise, I pointed out that a lot of customers are probably not raising concerns, but it's hurting them, which we need to help. Apart from, while we consider all of these important, we also understand that a lot of times for a smaller business it's very difficult to manage all of these things, and therefore we have developed a few partner systems which essentially help sellers in delivering those services. For instance, there's a host of services. The Food Studio Network helps sellers get catalog done for their products through our network of catalog providers. There's a packaging solution which is dedicated. So when we looked at, we understand that the packaging ecosystem in India is not completely evolved. It's at a place where it's very difficult to buy the right amount of packaging material at the right quality at the right price, and that's why we tried to solve this problem of supply of packaging material. We have a very extensive advertising solution which helps sellers build a strong brand for themselves. We provide analytics support. We talked about how we would want sellers to do some root cause analysis on the data, but we also provide them the data for that. And we provide them some guidance as well. There's a very strong technological backbone which we provide them for them self-serve, and then there is a 24/7 customer service, which is seller support, which helps sellers in identifying solutions to problem if they are stuck in anything. While we develop all of these capabilities for them, we also understand the need for them to develop skills in their employees. It's very important that in the end, whoever is dealing with the transaction understands what he needs to do, and that's why we have a dedicated support for learning and capability building for SME education. So it could range from trainings like how to improve customer experience, similar to what I just presented to you, but in a much more extended version. How to improve sales on Flipkart, selection management, merchandising, inventory management, you name it. There's a lot of learning opportunity available. And this is one of our latest offerings, which help us provide sellers an experience of delivery that's at par with, so that's as fast as possible as it can get, with our own warehouses where they can store the inventory and they can ship the products from their own environment. What will we stand to gain? I'm sure that all of us understand the impact of customer acquisition. I'm sure we also know that the cost of acquiring a new customer is 5 times the cost of maintaining a loyal customer. So all of this is probably 1/5 the cost of acquiring a new customer, and that's why we gain loyal customer base. Word of mouth, we gain the power of word of mouth. So I think Flipkart is a classic example of a success of word of mouth, and that's what we stand to gain here. So I'm trying to list those things here. We strengthen our brand preference, we boost revenues through incremental sales, improve customer loyalty, lower cost by reducing customer churn. So this brings me to the end of the workshop per se. I've tried to shorten it as much as possible. I was told that don't use more than 25 minutes, so I try to shorten it. Before I close, I'd like to remember a popular author that has recently passed away, Maya Angelou, and she's written very strong words somewhere that people always forget what you say to them. People always forget what you do for them, but people never forget how you made them feel. So the entire idea around customer experience is to make sure that customers feel important when they transact on Flipkart. So that note, I'll try to wrap it up, and let's open for questions.
Can I borrow your mic?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I think he has brilliantly summed it up. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to clap a little bit more harder. Thank you. We can take 2 questions quickly, and Kinshu is up to answer those, yeah? So one question. Sir, you have already asked. Please give others a chance. You can take it offline, please. I would have to give somebody else a chance. Somebody at the back, the person in orange shirt. Can you please pass on the mic?
Hello, it was a wonderful presentation. And of course, I would just like to highlight one more thing where I feel that, okay, more than the processes and other things which were talked about, it is the genuine intent and the efforts which the company makes to have a happy customer. So that underlies that will still be the nucleus of the whole thing. Right. Wherein I would just like to share one particular thing, that the experience that what I had with eBay recently. Right. Where they have just absolutely insulated themselves from any kind of customer feedback. At least I'm telling 1,000 people not to buy from eBay. So, and of course, I also mentioned in my customer feedback to them, saying that, okay, that I've had, this is certainly a compliment for Flipkart. I've had multiple purchases earlier, and each time it was a very, very good experience. So it's important, I feel that, okay, that we, from the top management, it's essential that, okay, that we create that kind of a scenario, more than the processes and other things.
Thanks a lot for the compliment, and I agree with you. That's so true, that it's at the end of the day a philosophy, a cultural belief that has to come from the culture itself of the organization. And that's what, so like I said, whenever we have a new seller onboarded onto the Flipkart system, and we are a very managed marketplace, we try to make sure that we have a very strong check before we onboard a new seller, because it's at the end of the day, the customers is what we are focused on. So we try to make sure that there is a strong check, and if somebody is not meeting that standard, we try to spend some time with them in developing capabilities and making sure that they understand our philosophies. If there is a cultural misalignment, or there is a philosophical misalignment on working with us for customers, then yeah, we have difficulties in.
I also have a suggestion
sure.
saying that, okay, that just like the insurance part, there needs to be, for all the online sellers, there needs to be an ombudsman kind of a thing. Wherein certainly in case if, of course, I've been earlier buying with many of the online sellers, but in case if a person, the first timer, has this kind of an experience, he will shun himself from buying anything else from the other online stores also. So probably it's just a suggestion from all the online sellers, saying that, okay, that they can have an ombudsman kind of a thing, where they can refer their cases in addition to all the other avenues in the channels like consumer courts and other things.
Yeah. Okay, we would have
Thank
to...
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. The gentleman who has just raised his hand, can you please pass it? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I am Nikhil. You just said that 90% of the dissatisfied customers, don't even contact. So is there any R&D on the reason for that? They just don't care, or is the customer care difficult to reach, or because there has to be something as to why they're just not raising any voice.
So that's a good point, and so whenever we have a solution, whenever we have a challenge with customer experience, so actually that number was around 70 to 75
Yeah,
customers.
sorry.
So that every time we see a pattern, every time we see multiple requests from customers that there has been something wrong, we try to find out all the customers who have faced this problem. And in spite of the fact that every time the problem is the same, we only find about 10 or 15% of the customers, of 25% of the customers who have reached out to us. Whatever we do to mollify or satisfy those 25 customers, we try to make sure that every single time, everybody who's impacted by this is also getting the same treatment. So from our observations so far, it's more about customers' willingness to reach out to us or their ease to reach out to us, but we try to also make sure that it's always easy for them. I think we have all kinds of measures available for customers to reach out to us. So if there is a pattern, we try to make sure that it's addressed for all the customers.
Okay.
All right.
Oops.
We can take this offline. Probably.
Yeah.
Thank you.